We got two other surprises for you, and we're gonna do one right now. Okay.
Okay, yeah, let's do them both.
Well, all right. So recently, I have not been able to listen to Jim Cornette. Kind
Yeah.
of had just yeah. Anyways, man. So today at work, I listened and took notes to Jim Cornette and Brian Last reacting to the Jungle Boy news. So I want to go through that Jungle Boy over in Europe at that fan convention shit.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, I heard.
So
Just before you jump into what you have there, so I heard this clip, and I think I came to you. I messaged you like the morning I heard it, and I was like, "Oh, hairline." I was like, "You gotta hear what they're saying about Jungle Boy." Now, since this happened, people have posted clips from that event, and other people were like, no, he was really good. He was really sweet to me, and we don't know that. Like, we don't know that those fans could have been obnoxious ones, and it's all subjective and da 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 da. But nonetheless, though, like, this doesn't shock me. This what was said made me go, oh, that makes sense, because he's just the man is just seems so disinterested and bored, and like he doesn't care to even be there. But yeah, let's get your thoughts on this, hairline. Let's hear what you wrote down. Do you want to play the clip, or should we just get into what you think?
yeah, let's just get into what I think,
Let's
man.
go.
So like, man, I just like first off, man, did I have I missed listening to Jim?
Hmm.
It was good hearing him, made me laugh and shit. Um, but yeah, man. So it was just basically like my notes here. There were short lines for Jungle Boy, and it's like, well, obviously there was when you, you
So
find
for
out that
those of you listening who might not know, Jungle Boy went overseas to this. What, he was in Ireland, or he's in the UK? I guess Ireland's part of the UK.
yeah, it's like they're gonna be out there for that Wembley shit.
They're going to be out there for Wembley, so they're doing promo, they're doing fan meets, and Jungle Boy's out there with, I think, Anna Jay and Ruby Soho. Sorry if I'm leaving
Yeah,
anybody out. And what happened was, they had like a convention where Jungle Boy has like a lineup. And then you get to meet him, and then you can pay for packages like, oh, he'll sign this, or you get a picture with him, or you get a voice note, because I guess they're doing that now. um and so and then also they had like a Q&A where they're in like a wrestling ring, and then fans who I guess paid got to ask them questions and whatnot. And so apparently at both of these instances, so this isn't like one, oh, at the lineups he was being an asshole. This is like at his lineups, he was apparently, this guy's like, I paid for a voice note, and Jungle Boy's like, well, whatever, I'm not doing that. And then apparently like the next day or later that day, when they did the fan questions while they're in the ring, he was just, they're like, what would you do with your last, what wrestling match would you watch with your last day on earth if it was your last day on earth? And he's like, I wouldn't watch wrestling, that sounds lame. And just like, maybe he's joking, but also like, I feel like he just doesn't give a fuck. So it wasn't like shocking to hear any of that. I had a good chuckle. But yeah, just give me your notes on that. I just want to catch the fans up in case they didn't know like what we're talking about exactly.
yeah. So like you were saying, man, fucking, they were offering the selfies and the voice notes. And it was just him at his table with his assistant who was over there working the con and whatnot.
His handler,
Um,
didn't he have like a specific handler like from Ireland or something too?
yeah, from the UK. They were over in London again.
Oh, they were in London. I thought they were in Ireland for some reason, but
No, it was the WWE that was just recently
oh, right, that's where I'm fucking up. Yeah, they were in Belfast. Yeah.
the Titanic. Anyways, um, yeah, man. So it was just like this fan approached Jack and wanted to get the selfie and the voice note. And then when it was time to get the voice note, he just kind of shrugged it off and wasn't interested in doing it because it was for this guy's podcast, is what I'm assuming.
And I mean, that can be obnoxious too. Like, imagine, like, yeah, dude, I'll give you a voice note, like, hey, Brandon, happy birthday. But instead, this guy's like, yo, can you give it for the pod? Now, I could see how that could be a turnoff. Like, you don't go and say, oh, can you do it for the pod? Like,
Right, we don't know neither here nor there. I don't know if it was part of the package though. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of bogus.
yeah, it is lame that he paid for a voice note, and Jungle Boy, instead of saying, oh, I won't do it for the show, he could have just said, well, I don't want to endorse your show. Because
Yeah,
that,
and
well,
we don't know that it was for the podcast. I'm just like,
Well, the guy who wrote the letter to Jim Cornette did say it was, he did mention it was for my podcast.
yeah,
Okay, so
uh,
don't do that. Like, here's the whole thing, right? Like, like, if I, like, okay, if we pay for a cameo for this show, we're gonna be direct. Like, this is like, can you? This is for our fucking podcast. We've thought about
yeah,
getting an intro from someone, and if they don't feel comfortable doing that because they feel like that's endorsing our show, I completely understand that.
But yeah, man, so basically after this interaction, the guy got his selfie with him and whatnot, and it was just all awkward and shit. Um, and then he was just asking Jack if he had any other like local show bookings or going to be out here again. And he told him he's not traveling out here again, which is I find it funny in the first place because it's like, well, I guess you got to come out over here for Wembley, but whatever, bro.
Right. Right. Oh man, that just reminded me of something from this Dynamite. We'll get into it later, but
Oh, unfortunately, but yeah.
yeah.
Anyway, so Jack went back to put it on his phone and whatnot. But yeah, anyway, so like also like you were saying at this convention, they also had the questioning with Ruby Soho and Anna Jay and whatnot. Um, and that's where he was asked a question about if you could watch one more wrestling match before he died, which match would it be?
Yeah, like the question was posed like it's your last day on earth, you're gonna die tomorrow, and you know it. What's the last match? And he couldn't even give him a hypothetical. He's like, I wouldn't watch wrestling. That seems lame. All right. That's why your show's got 776,000 viewers.
Well, dude, and so he's at a convention called We Love Wrestling. You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying?
dude.
Bro, you don't love wrestling.
Yeah,
Actually,
and even if it's tongue in cheek, like, dude, work the gimmick for the fans. But the thing is he was, because his fucking gimmick is this uninterested guy who seems like he doesn't want to be there. Anyway, so
yep, yeah. And then he said basically, fucking, he looks for towards Luchasaurus.
hold on. Let me add a little. So he said, this is what he said. He said, I don't ask people advice who don't have my style. If someone wrestles my style, I'll take advice from them, but I'm not going to ask advice from people like Billy Gunn, who gets mad every time someone does a destroyer. And he says, I mostly listen to Luchasaurus, who has a hand in almost all of my matches, putting together all my matches. Hairline, give me your thoughts on that statement.
I'm gonna say basically what Jim said. The only thing that Luchasaurus should be putting together is a map to a fucking wrestling school.
What do you make of Jungle Boy and these California boys being like, we don't listen to people. They're old, they're passe.
They need to take their dumbasses back to fucking Camp Cucamonga. You know what I'm saying? I'm fucking over this shit, bro. Like fucking,
And this
I don't know.
Dynamite reflected that. Sorry, go ahead.
I don't. That's why I started this episode with like the lighthearted jokes about Matt Riddle because I know we're just gonna get really fucking angry
We're
towards
gonna
him.
get
So
mad at this Dynamite, folks.